It is mock draft number 2. Aaron has finally decided to get off his ass and join me for a recording. Everybody, welcome to For the Lobs official. This is the official mock draft comparison for both of us. Let's lob it up. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the For the Lob podcast, presented to you by the Love of Ball Network and offtackle.com and Michelle Lorms of the Lorms home team. And that's it. Aaron and I. Aaron, welcome back after your little hiatus off the show.
Man. I didn't know you were going to introduce me like that in the intro.
I wanted them all to know you're back.
Yeah, I'm back. Thank you.
So, talk to the people. You know, they missed your voice. What are we doing today?
Did they? I don't know. Oh, what are we doing today? I mean, you kind of told them, but actually, glad you're letting me take this little lead real quick. I'm going to preface this, but we are doing our mock drafts for the first round, and I am, to this year specifically, a complete casual to the college prospects heading to the NFL this year. I've done very minimal to little research prior to yesterday and today, so I kind of crammed my homework in. So this entire list was made off of like a few days of me just cramming the knowledge. I think I got pretty good lists. I think I have pretty good reasonings. I like to play. I am way more educated now than I was a few days ago. But this might be my biggest casual episode yet. But I tried.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that preface. I'm an expert. I've gone to the combine. I've done a lot of homework. I've done film breakdown on a lot of these guys. Leave it down below if you want a film breakdown channel. You know, could be interesting.
Film breakdown. Shoot,
dude. Hey,
I love doing film breakdown. Nothing. I'm nothing. I love film. You know that one guy? What's the name? Kurt something. Kurt Ben something.
Kurt Benkert.
Doesn't he do quarterback breakdown?
He does.
Yeah, I love him. Love him.
So we are doing round 1 with trades. You didn't have to do trades, but you had the option to do trades.
I had one trade. Just putting.
I had one trade as well.
I was gonna have two, but I just didn't like. One team was being a little too stingy, so I canceled the trade.
So it will go. Aaron will say his pick for the team first. I will follow, and we'll go back and forth discussing. Do we just want to? You know what? We'll get you an ad-free viewing experience. Let's cut to the ads. Listen to them, please. This is how I get paid, and this is how I get benefits. Aaron as well. So please just listen to them, and then we'll be back into your ad-free mock draft version 2. Thank you. Be right back. Football fans, it's time to take your game to the next level with off-tackle.com, your ultimate destination for everything football analytics. Get access to detailed team stats, player breakdowns, and the amazing fourth down calculator so you can see if your team is making the right decision on fourth down. Want an edge? Upgrade to Pro and gain access to matchup predictions that have outperformed Vegas by 30 games over the past 3 years. Don't just guess the outcome. Trust data that helps you stay ahead. Go to off-tackle.com. That's off-tackle.com today. This episode is presented by Michelle Lorms of the Lorms home team, your trusted real estate expert in Northern Kentucky. Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, Michelle's expertise makes the process smooth and stress-free. From first-time buyers to seasoned sellers, she's here to guide you every step of the way. Ready to make a move? Visit lormshometeam.com. That being LORMS hometeam.com today, because finding the right home starts with finding the right agent. This episode is presented to you by the Love of Ball Network, your home for sports talk that keeps you into the game. Whether you're into all things sports or a diehard Bengals fan, we've got you covered with shows that bring the action, insight, and the passion you crave. Don't forget to rate us 5 stars, share with your friends, and check out all of our shows in the link below. I promise it's worth a listen. Let's get back to the episode. Welcome back. I'm back. Are you back?
I actually left and I didn't come back. I'm here now.
Well, yeah. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for listening to those ads. Like I said, helps us more than you know. So, excuse me. Oh my God, Aaron, take over. Hold on.
Gavin's dying. don't know if you wanted me to talk about the ads or not. However, we do have a new sponsor. Don't know if you guys realize. The beautiful analytics website that our friend created. It is amazing. Um, Still waiting for Gavin to get back.
Yeah, off-tackle.com.
Off.tackle.com. That's the one.
Phenomenal. We use it. It has everything analytics you could ever think of. We both use this a lot for this episode specifically to see teams' deficiencies of what they didn't do good last year and how to help them draft. So, Aaron, 5 minutes and 27 seconds into the episode. Let's start the actual mock draft here.
You want to start off? You want me
Pick
to start
one.
off?
You pick off. Go, pick one. Who do you have?
Thanks,
Two. The Tennessee.
Thanks for giving me the easy one to start off. I have, to no one's shocker, probably the guaranteed number one pick. I did hear from outside sources that apparently this team has only practice trained with one certain individual, and his name is Cameron Ward, quarterback from Miami, going to the Titans. Any crazy news? Any shockers there?
No, that's exactly what I have.
Oh, did you? Wow. Well, look at that. Sorry, same pick already. That's crazy.
Yeah, Cam Ward as a very accurate quarterback coming into the draft, the most pro-ready quarterback with a lot of upside as well. The only thing I would knock on him is he doesn't have amazing arm talent, and he's a little inexperienced. Playing at Washington State and then transferring to Miami. Doesn't have he has 1 year of ACC ball. Washington State obviously is not very good competition. But Cam Ward is kind of the consensus number one pick here. I wouldn't say he's great in any other draft. He might be like a Bo Nix type pick, maybe a late first rounder, maybe an early first rounder. I don't know. But in this draft, that's all we can compare him to.
Okay, Bo Nix is great.
The first overall pick.
Bo Nix is amazing. You want to just go back and forth, or you want me to continue?
You start it off
first. All right, man. Oh, okay. I'm gonna preface something real quick. These first four picks, I struggled with a lot. I really struggled to feel comfortable saying where each of these four players went. And I think we all know who these first four players are. It's just which order did they get taken in? And I feel pretty confident. I think I like mine. I think I have an under opinion. Like I have an opinion that is lesser, but we're going to play second pick with the Browns. I do have Mr. Deion Sanders Jr. It's not his name, but that is I have
Shedeur.
Yes, I have Shedeur Sanders. I have him going to the Browns, which I surprisingly feel like didn't see a lot of that. I didn't see in different mock drafts and some people's opinions. I didn't see that happening. However, I just oh my God, I do not care if you're the Browns and you suck at freaking getting new quarterbacks. I don't care. You're a dying team with Deshaun Watson. I don't care if you have Deshaun Watson.
Kenny Pickett.
You need a quarterback. You need I didn't know. Yeah, Kenny Pickett too. Let's maybe Kenny Pickett could be the one. No, God, oh my, just take the chance. Might as well. He has a pro football father who's probably going to give them a good NFL mentality. He has probably as close to a pro mentality as you could have with his father's legacy, all this. He's probably there's a winning mentality. There has to be something. Okay, I don't care. You're the Browns. You suck at getting quarterbacks. Shedeur Sanders, he's there. You have a chance of getting him. Just take him. You need him. And Deshaun Watson's not your guy. We all know this.
Yeah. Number two. That's interesting, Aaron.
I know it's interesting. I did not see it a lot. And I literally saw people saying he shouldn't even be a first round talent. I don't know about that. It's I don't know. It feels right to me at the very least.
At number two, I have Shedeur Sanders going to the Browns.
Really? Oh my God! Thank God I wasn't alone in this.
So okay, I have a couple different reasons for you that are more analytical than just his dad.
Thank you.
So thank you. Have you seen that video? Maybe not.
No.
Okay.
No.
Anyway, Shedeur Sanders. So a couple things about Shedeur. One, he has a lot of experience with scrutiny, kind of leading up. You mentioned his dad, but being pro ready, that pro mentality. He started out in, I want to say Jacksonville State in college, transferred to Colorado. I mean, everyone, the entire city of Colorado was just under the lights because of Shedeur. And he's kind of dealt with that scrutiny his entire life. Battled hardships. So, one, battled hardships. Get used to the Browns, buddy. Good start there. Two, the Browns have a very sound coaching staff. Specifically Stefanski. Stefanski is a very good quarterback coach. I know we've not seen this a lot in Cleveland, but coming from Minnesota, Stefanski was a quarterback coach, or he's an offensive coordinator, right, in Minnesota.
Uh,
Um,
who?
Kevin Stefanski.
He was the offensive coordinator for Minnesota.
He was, and he
Couldn't tell
strives
you that one.
with quarterbacks that maybe don't wow you with their athleticism or their deep ball thing. Because like
Hey, what are you trying to say?
Shadur
What do you-
Sanders is not that mobile of a quarterback. I know you think of him as a super mobile, fast, athletic quarterback because of his dad, but he is not very like. Yes, he can run. Any young quarterback can run, but he is not that mobile. What he strives at is decision making. He will make the correct read, and he is an accurate passer. And that is what Kevin Stefanski thrives in. You saw the great years of Minnesota with Kirk Cousins because Kirk Cousins is a great decision maker. You saw success with Joe Flacco on the Browns because Joe Flacco is a great decision maker. Shadur is a great decision maker and makes good plays consistently. And that is what the Browns need. They don't need the. I mean, Baker Mayfield's an outlier because Baker Mayfield was a good quarterback, but he's probably their most mobile quarterback they've had. The Browns have a sound offensive line, a great defense, decent weapons, surprisingly, with Jerry Jeudy, David Njoku, and even guys like Cedric Tillman, and didn't they just get someone else? They might have just gotten another receiver, but just like they have a good foundation for a young quarterback to come in and thrive. And maybe Kenny Pickett starts weeks 1 through 6 and Shadur learns, but he is NFL ready. And I do think that his play style, specifically with Stefanski and the Browns, is just a match made in heaven. And I don't think he should go number 2. In my first mock draft, if you guys listen, I had the Saints actually trade up to 2 with the Browns and get Shadur.
That's crazy.
Because I don't see a world if Shadur isn't at number 2. I don't see him getting past the Giants. The Giants love Shadur. So yeah, I have Shadur going at 2.
Yeah, man. Glad you agreed with me on that one. I really thought I was like frantically trying to find one mock draft that had him going 2, like an updated one, to make me not feel like I was completely screwed myself. Like, bro, in my head it makes sense. I'm glad it makes sense in your head too, because I couldn't find anyone. Anyway, man. You want to move on to number 3?
Yeah, go ahead.
Actually, now that we got our 1 and 2 done, I have pretty good. I would say I have 1 through 5 probably. I have a pretty good confidence. We have the same next few guys. Coming in at number 3, I have Travis Hunter, who I think would be the next most dynamic guy to go to the. I don't like how you said that.
I'm just listening, man. Continue.
No, I think you said that in a disagreement. I think you said that in a disagreement. I think Travis Hunter is by far the most well, by default dynamic because he plays both sides of the ball. But like to any team he goes to, he's gonna help him. And to the team in any of the entire league, to be honest, in the entire league, the team that needs help the most on every side of the ball is the Giants. Getting offensive threat to help out whatever offensive situation you have with their quarterback. Because obviously you don't want me to get quarterback because Shadur. Maybe later in this draft if they choose to, but at least the good ones. Without getting quarterback here, getting another, maybe help on wide receiver threat is always going to help him on their defense. He had an okay defense last year, but probably lacking in a lot of spots that shouldn't. Travis Hunter, and Travis Hunter is just the absolute most perfect athletic piece in this draft to go to any team. Like I said, especially to a team that needs help everywhere around the ball. So it just seems like such a perfect fit.
So yeah, okay. I also had Travis Hunter going at 3 to the Giants. But here's the thing. I think Abdul Carter should be the pick here. But the Giants are the only team, maybe one or two of the teams in the league that actually have too many good edge rushers that you cannot justify taking Travis Hunter. They have Dexter Lawrence. They have Kayvon Thibodeau. They have Brian Burns. There's no room for Abdul Carter, who I think is the better pick here. I think Abdul Carter is the best player in the draft. And he's going to fall past 3.
That's the reason why he's so because the specific teams ahead of him that needed certain. It's
so anyway, Travis Hunter can come in and immediately play corner. I think he will play a little wide receiver, like 5 out wide receivers. When there's an extra receiver,
I think
he's too talented not to play a little bit both ways.
Exactly.
He's freakishly athletic, and paired with, I mean, they have Russ. They have Jameis Winston. They have guys that can get them the ball, and I think he'll excel as a corner more. Corner's a more difficult position. So, but like, there's not a world on this team where Travis Hunter is not in if the Giants are down 5 points, 2 minutes left, and they're on a drive. They're on an offensive drive. There's not a world where Travis Hunter's not coming in as a receiver.
Yeah. Especially, I don't know. All the teams that have their wide receiver cores, Giants are definitely one of the few where you would just throw him in there just because he's Travis Hunter and
Yeah.
probably better than half your guys.
He's a gadget guy. He's a Debo
Exactly.
Samuel that can play both ways. So let's go to number 4, Aaron. I think it's
Well, I think number
obvious at this
4,
point.
yeah, I think obvious. I do have Abdul Carter going to the Patriots. Up there with the Giants in terms of might be one of the most pathetic teams on both sides of the ball. But Abdul Carter is, like you said, probably the best player in this draft. Because honestly, like Cam Ward was the guarantee number 1. But if there was a world where they didn't draft Cam Ward, Abdul Carter is that good that they would just take him over a quarterback because Abdul Carter is that good coming to this draft. It is by far he's the number 1 player. Just based off situations why he's number 1. Anyway, there's just no matter what team was really next, there's no world Abdul Carter is not getting picked. So I could say how much specifically he'd benefit the Patriots, but in reality, any team could have been up next and Abdul Carter would have been taken.
Yeah, it's just the reality of it. I also have Abdul Carter. Dire need a pass rush, best player in the draft at this point in this young team where they're kind of spending their money. They're kind of just getting a team around Drake May. You just get best player available.
Exactly.
It happens to be the best guy in the draft, in my opinion.
Exactly. This was a no-brainer pick.
I also think number 5 is a no-brainer pick. If you'd like to lead me into it,
a lot. Yeah, you could start one off. A lot of the drafts I saw just had this one as a guarantee.
I mean, Mason Graham going to the Jacksonville Jaguars at number 5. Let me pull up the stats for the Jags while you talk about why you picked him as well.
Well, I mean, there is okay. So I say this was like a solid, surefire pick. However, there was a part of me, a small part of me, that wanted to give them a wide receiver. I'm not going to say what wide receiver, but I think there's a wide receiver that would go this high if there was one. There was a small part of me that wanted to give him a wide receiver because, in my opinion, do you have a pretty underwhelming wide receiver core? Like, not on paper. On paper, it sounds pretty good. Brian Thomas Jr., Gabe Davis. I believe he just signed someone else like a 1-year deal or something like that. It's not terrible, but I feel like they just don't perform. I don't like how Brian Thomas Jr. is already a star there and he's a rookie. I don't know. I don't love it. I wanted to give him a wide receiver, but for what Galvin's about to say is.
So looking at the stats, shout out off-tackle.com. The defensive, specifically the run defensive and like the kind of pass rush defensive stats for the Jags were pretty bad. They were 23rd in the league against the run. They were 27th in the league on 3rd and 4th down, which is pure pass rush, which Mason Graham will give you. They were 31st against play action, which is a lot of D tackles. And they were 22nd with blitzing on success rate. So really the defensive line were bottom 10 in the league, almost bottom 5 in everything. And it kind of just makes sense just to plug in a big D tackle. They do still have Trayvon Walker. They do have they have another guy coming off the edge. Oh, Eric Armstead. They do have decent edge rushers, but they need a big boy in the middle. And Mason Graham is just so polished, so pro ready, and it's a perfect fit here.
Yeah, I think a lot of people agree with that.
Now this is where it gets interesting.
Do you think so? I thought
okay, maybe 7 because I think 6 is pretty obvious as well.
Is it okay? I don't know if I gave a I don't know. I'll go with my 6 first, but yeah, there's some interesting stuff to happen. To be honest, point I think. Now that the 1 through 4 is out of the way, you want me to start off with my 6?
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
You know what? Don't give me suspense. I'm gonna tell you mine. I want you to instantly tell me like I had him or no. Okay. Number 6, I have Ashton Jeanty.
I have Ashton Jeanty.
Okay, good. Thank God. So obviously, the Raiders got rid of Josh Jacobs. That was obviously a big piece that they missed on their offense last year. Who was like was it just Alexander Madison? Was that really
their, was Abdullah or is something Amir Abdullah?
It's not great. And they didn't have a great anything offensive last year. They did get rid of a lot of pieces. They got rid of Devontae not there. They got rid of Josh Jacobs. They did just obtain what was his name, Brock Bowers. And now they have who's their quarterback again?
Gino.
Why did I think Gino went to the Steelers? Yes, Gino. So who went to the Steelers?
No one. They have their only quarterback.
Oh, that's the one team. Oh, you're right. They're like the one team I just like got rid of. Okay. Yeah. So with their dying offense, you have to get an offensive piece here. Could have been a wide receiver. Could have been running back. But I think Ashton Jeanty is too much of a amazing talent to because. Like I said, I had very limited knowledge this entire draft coming in here. Ashton Jeanty is the one player who I truly knew about his success from month to month ago before even like the NFL year ended. I've been knowing about Ashton Jeanty. So what truly a generational piece here.
Ashton Jeanty with one of the greatest running back seasons of all time. Some other guys with seasons like this involve Derrick Henry, Earl Campbell, and there's one more. But anyway, NFL greats. So you don't see these fluke seasons in college turn into busts. Ashton
Yeah.
Jeanty, his balance, his ability to break tackles, his ability to read gaps, his breakaway speed. He's the perfect running back. And you know exactly who he reminds me of, Aaron?
Who?
Marshawn Lynch,
That is
that
so.
bruiser.
Hold on.
And you know why that's significant?
Why is this significant?
Do you know who the coach of the Raiders is right now?
Who?
It is Pete Carroll, the man who knew how to develop and coach Marshawn Lynch.
I'm looking somewhere weird.
So I think it's just a match made in heaven. They have no running backs. In their eyes, they have a quarterback. In their eyes, they have a tight end. They have a decent wide receiver room. I mean, Jacoby Myers and Trey Tucker aren't great, but they're not like terrible. Jacoby Myers has been pretty good, but like they need a running back. And Ashton Jeanty is just so good. And honestly, if he wasn't getting picked at 6, I think the latest he would go is 10.
No, I think the latest would go is 8.
No.
Anyways,
Why? The Panthers have
don't say it.
Jonathan Brooks, and they have Chuba Hubbard.
Okay, I did forget you have Jonathan Brooks, but I don't care. No, I don't.
They just picked
You
Jonathan
can't. Okay,
Brooks in
Chuba
the
Hubbard.
second
No,
round.
Chuba Hubbard is a solidified set. That is not a main running back. You have Jonathan. I don't
Hubbard?
care. I don't care. Okay, last year was. Oh, didn't he have like an enigma like 1 or 2 games?
That was
but that
his
was like
second
it.
season in the entire NFL.
Okay, I literally don't.
His
Okay.
stats last year, he had 1,200 yards and 10 touchdowns.
There's no way. Did he have consistently like 70 yards or something? I swear he had 2 games
No,
where like
he was
fantasy
good.
wise he had like
Yes,
50
2 games
points.
he had like 200 yards, and then he was also very good for the rest of the season.
I don't know, man. I don't remember seeing anything too spectacular with Trevor Hubbard. Anyway, I was about to. Oh yeah, you compared Ashton Jeanty to Marshawn Lynch, and I was like mentally thinking, well, that's kind of crazy. In my head, Marshawn's this big, huge guy. I'm not saying
Who's
he's not.
Jeanty? Oh well, they're both
Nope.
5'10".
Yo, Ashton
Jeanty's
Jeanty-
5'9".
Ashton Jeanty's 5'8",
I thought
211,
he's 5'9".
and Marshawn Lynch is 5'11", so he has 3 inches on him.
Still,
Also, what's his weight? Can I get his weight here? Hold on. I looked up how big is Marshawn Lynch and it gives me his height. I guess that's valid. Anyways, in my head, I see Marshawn Lynch as a freaking big beast, and then there's 5'8"
I mean,
Ashton Jeanty over here.
Jeanty
that's why
plays the
those-
same play style.
No, but when you said you compared it to, in my head, I think of similar builds too, and I was like, Ashton Jeanty looks tiny in my opinion in comparison to what Marshawn Lynch looks like. Anyway, it's irrelevant. Moving on to the next pick. You want me to start off again?
That's 7 here. Go ahead.
Okay, this one
I think I have a different one than you.
you definitely do. I think I know exactly who you put here. I put in the most casual way I could have the highest rated offensive tackle that was here for the Jets, because that's really what they needed, which was Will Campbell. Is that different?
That I did not have Will Campbell going here.
I figured you did not have Will Campbell. He was my highest rated offensive tackle on the actually, because he's actually the highest rated offensive tackle in the entire thing. Which I heard from a lot of other people, probably disagreed, maybe, but this is pretty casual with me. I just knew he needed offensive tackle, and I don't study enough tackle to tell you.
Yeah.
Like, I can't be all like, the way that guy's arm stretches is a little better than that guy. The way this guy takes his first step, I couldn't tell you. So with that being said, I just took the best offensive tackle, put him behind the Jets, and that's really my only reason.
So I have a tackle here going as well, but it is Armand Membu.
I knew after I did my list, I don't say I wanted to switch, but I kind of
here's the
saw
Armand
probably would've
Membu
been
is just the stereotypical Jets offensive line pick in the last few years. 6'4", 332, uber athletic. He is extremely athletic, but pretty much a pure tackle. Showed off really well at Mizzou last year. But you want to know the big thing about that shows his athleticism, Aaron?
What?
6'4", 330 pounds. He ran a 4.91 40-yard dash.
4.91.
Yeah.
Shoot, dude, you think I can't run a 4.7?
So this just seems like kind of not a developmental, but like a project. Not a project, but like, you know what I mean? Like a no ceiling, may not be the best, but like pretty damn good with a really high ceiling. Jets tackle pick.
I could see it. Like I said, mine was just highest rate. I'm looking at Will Campbell's 6'5", 320.
Yeah, but
he's like a
arms.
small. Yeah, I know that's a big thing when it comes to linemen, freaking arm length and stuff like that. I've always known that's a pretty big thing.
We'll get into that in a
Will
couple
Campbell
picks for me.
run the
He
40?
did not.
Oh, unfortunate. I don't hate. I just don't like how some people are be like, I don't want to do the combine. I get why they don't, because like they're scared it's going to drop their stocks. But like, I don't know. I want to see it. I want to see Ashton Genty run the 40 because he didn't run it either, right?
He did not. He didn't do anything.
Exactly. I don't think a lot of top people don't because they're like, I'm only solidified. I don't want to waste my talent.
Yeah.
But it's still fun.
What's 8?
My 8 coming in at my number 8. Pick I'm pretty happy with. Something I did not study prior to this because, like I said, I was new to it. Something I did not study was how to pronounce names. But I believe his name's been going around called T-Mac. Is that what people are calling him?
Yeah.
T-Mac.
Teratoa McMillan.
Teratoa McMillan, my goat. I actually had no idea who this guy was until I saw a random TikTok about him, like his life story, like his personal TikTok. He posted like a reel of his life story, and he was like, "And now I'm a top 10 pick for." I was like, "What?" I was like, "Oh, I don't know this guy." And he's real. I thought it was faking it. But Teratoa McMillan. By your reaction, you might not have him this high.
I don't.
I have him this high. I don't see him. I mean, why not? Like, I honestly don't. Why not? Why don't you have him going to the Panthers? I can't think of a lot of reasons.
Much more okay, better fit here.
Do you? Okay, tell me. Do you? Okay, is it the same position?
No.
Okay, there's no world, bro. I don't know. But the players available with the offense that they have, there's dying offense, dying defense. They have dying everything. Do you have a quarterback who still has yet to kind of prove himself fully? I don't see a world where you don't take the best wide receiver in the class, give it to that team to let them. Maybe even build a small relationship to hopefully try to. I was going to say resurrect Bryce Young, but he hasn't really come rise last year. Okay, he is small little hump he went over. I wouldn't say he like went on a pure exponential growth, but he showed a little something. I love it. I love this pick. I don't know. This is one of my favorite picks, to be honest. I don't know how you put something else here.
Yeah, so I'm going to read off some of the stats for the Panthers here.
Sure, dude.
They had the worst defensive success rate, 32nd. Versus the pass, they were 31st. Defensive versus late down and early down, 32nd and 32nd. But I want to focus on the late down, which is almost always a pass play. Defensive success rate versus QB out of a pocket, meaning the play is broken down and it is up to the corners to stick to the guy running around, right? I have Will Johnson going here. Corner out of Michigan. Very, very pro-ready guy. I loved Will Johnson this year. He had kind of a down year, statistically, but he's still very, very good. I think he's 6'2", 6'1", big corner. Pairing him with J.C. Horn in that secondary would fix a lot of their issues. And the Panthers did openly come out and say that they believe Xavier Legette is their guy. They believe he can blossom into a wide receiver one. I don't know. I don't know if he will. Wide receiver is definitely my second pick. I have them getting a receiver in the second round.
As they should.
And my full 7-round mock draft, which I did do for fun.
You have a full 7-round mock draft?
I do.
Yeah, okay, buddy.
Hey man, when you go to the combine, you kind of learn a lot.
Okay.
But yeah, Will Johnson here, I think is a shoe-in pick. I really no offense to you, man. I just don't see it going any other way.
I do. What? No. What do you mean?
I don't see a world.
I'd put money. I'd put money.
Right now.
I would put money.
$100.
Yo,
that it's not. That it's not Tate McMillan.
Don't got that kind of money, man. Let's calm down now.
You know what? Okay, are we gonna bet that it's gonna be Will Johnson or Terry?
No, let's bet. Yeah, just bet. Yeah, for the specific.
$5. $5.
Sure, man. $5. Yeah,
$5.
I'll bet cool. $5 that it's him over.
I'm gonna be $5 richer.
All right, man. Well, moving on to my next pick. I'm glad you already did talking for me. I Will Johnson, going to the Saints. I was looking at the depth chart. They do have Cooley McKinstry.
Yeah.
Not amazing.
That's about it.
Apparently. That's really their defensive secondary.
Marshawn Lattimore.
Yeah, and I was looking at their other corner. I mean, I see his name. Couldn't tell you who he is. Lante Taylor. Cool. Sounds like a cool dude. Dude. Don't know who he is. Saints were also. Let me pull the stat real quick. I have
Lante Taylor, Tennessee legend.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Saints had the 6th worst passing defense. By passing defense, I mean yards per.
I can tell you it's the Panthers.
Not the Panthers. Panthers had okay. you can talk about over. I'm talking about specifically yards per game, like given
Mm,
like
okay.
for passing yards per game, which I think does fall on the corners and the safeties, like a lot in the corners.
I
Um,
don't believe that's the case at all. You have to nitpick
who do
these
you think it
stats
falls
because
on?
if you can't get a pass rush at all, the corners
Yeah,
are
no,
going to
okay,
eventually get
yeah,
burnt
oh, yeah,
regardless.
exactly. Yeah, it falls on the entire defense passing yard per, but like at the same time, I mean,
It is
it's
a
a
lot of
direct.
corners.
It's a direct thing. Passing yards are when the ball gets passed.
That's true. That's
Typically,
true.
the defender for the pass is the corners. So I'm putting a lot on passing yards per game on the corners, and the Saints did have the sixth worst of that of the entire year last year. And like you were saying, the pure almost this is almost an Abdul Carter type of thing where it's like you were great at it last year, and you also have that talented of a player left on the board. Just take
Yeah.
like it's like you have to take him. So that's
I
why
don't
I
mind
have
the
Will
pick.
Johnson.
I just have Will Johnson going to pick before.
I mean, yeah, exactly. It's not that far off. Just two different,
Number 9, I have Will Campbell going to the
Ah,
Saints. They need to figure out what's going on with Ryan Ramczyk. He's had a lot of medical issues, their tackle. But even if he plays next season, they're in dire need of a guard. With Will Campbell's arm length being a thing, and a lot of people saying to move him to a guard, play him at a guard for a year. Let him learn how to be an NFL offensive lineman. Then once you figure out Ramczyk or he retires, he's like 34 at this point, move him to tackle. It is the perfect gadget offensive lineman that they need to kind of, get back in the swing of things, which is sucking. They just need to suck. But, offensive line won't make you better, but you know what I mean.
yeah. We're getting around that pick. Actually, I think we're exactly at that pick. At number 9, 10 area, I believe is where it was. Where last year we had the upset of the century.
Yeah, it was
Who
pick.
was
It
it?
was pick
It was
8. Actually,
Michael Penix Jr.
it's pick
went
8.
to a team that got a quarterback. Do you think something that's going to happen this year? Do you think just like randomly the Jets just take
You know
freaking
what?
Jackson Dart
That's
just
what I was gonna
because?
say. I think the Jets are the Saints. If they don't, I think they could be sneaky Jackson Dart teams.
But like, do you think they would try trading down, or do you think they'd be like, nah, screw it? Because
Yeah,
that's what
just
the
screw
thing
it.
with the
Just take
Falcons
it.
was. That's what
Just take
The
it.
Falcons were like Michael Penix. You could have traded like 20 picks down and gotten him, but they took him top 10.
Apparently, the Broncos are saying they're taking his ass if he gets there.
No, okay, then you have Bo Nix left. Like I don't know,
He's
like
29. He's not actually 29, but
he's like, yeah.
all right, we're not
It's
talking
just-
about last year's draft. This year's
no,
draft.
I'm
He was
just saying
pick 10.
something could crazy happen. Pick 10, I have somebody who arguably should have been picked already. What's his name? Armin Membu. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah,
Armin
Membu.
Membu. Say it again.
Armand Membu.
Armand Membu. Somebody who apparently I underrated and let the grading system do the talking for me, and I shouldn't have. To some people, well, do you think he's the best O tackle in the draft, or do you just
I
say
think
that
he's
for the
lucky
Jets
that-
because
think-
he is
I
the
think Ca- I
fit
think Will-
for the Jets?
I think Will Campbell's the best, but there are concerns about his arms. I think the safer pick and the more exciting pick is Membu.
Either way, if that's the case, I almost see them as interchangeable. Two teams, top teams who, I mean, okay, the Bears could have gone a few ways here. They kind of could have. But I think with Caleb Williams still under like development, Caleb Williams has his weapons here and there. I wouldn't say they need to do anything about that. Did he had a decent defense last year?
Yeah.
I just don't see a world where I don't know. Building around Caleb Williams, I think is I think they need to do, and by getting arguably one of the best O tackles in the game right now, are in the draft to come into the game. Team why not? I believe they got 3 different offensive line
Yeah.
throughout free agency. I don't believe any of them were good enough for me to be all like,
They got Joe
they got a
Tooney,
center,
Drew
and then-
Dalman, Bill Murray, and Jonah
Yeah.
Jackson. So
Okay.
a tackle, a center, and 2 guards.
still none of them were like good enough for me to be all like, do you got the spot filled now? It just didn't feel like it to me.
I get
So
that.
I still think drafting an O lineman here, even with free agency, still felt right.
Okay, so here's what I have. Here's the rule for the Bears in this draft for me for their first, because they have 2 second rounders. Okay, so their top 4 picks, their first 2 seconds and a third, right?
Okay.
Anyone over 250 pounds is the only people they can take. Defensive lineman
Okay.
or offensive lineman. So I actually have them getting an offensive tackle in the second round because they have like pick 35, I think. So like the third pick in the second round, getting an offensive tackle or guard. Because I really do like what they've done with their offensive line this year. So I don't think tackle. I think they went in doing this so that way they can take best player available. And in your draft, it happens to be Armand Membu. In mine, it happens to be Jalen Walker.
Ooh.
A hybrid linebacker edge rusher who can really do coverage and blitz. He will mainly be blitzing alongside Montez Sweat. But I mean, I just love this fit. Just like a do it all linebacker. Like, I mean, think of like a better ceiling of Van Ginkel, Aaron.
Yeah.
He can do everything, and I love Jalen. If the Bengals could somehow get Jalen Walker, dude, I'd be so happy.
I don't see a world.
He's not gonna get past it.
I
But
was
like,
gonna say,
like he is probably my favorite player in this draft.
that's
Like,
a
I love Jalen Walker, but
big praise.
having him here at 10, going to the Bears, it just makes all the sense, man.
I like that. I like that. However, I do see him falling one more spot. Moving on to my number 11, I do have going to the 49ers, Jalen Walker. I love this pick for them even better than what you were describing, because in my head, the 49ers defense for my time watching football has been nothing but just freak athletes going crazy. That's the 49ers defense. And as you just described Jalen Walker to be a little bit of a hybrid, like could go up, come back guy. That is exactly what I think the 49ers want, especially with them losing a few of their pieces. And then how old is Fred Warner?
They lost like 11
Okay,
free
yeah.
agents.
Okay. But D lost key people. He didn't just lose some D lost key people. And how old is Fred Warner? Isn't he like 200 years old?
29.
29 as being
That's
a freak
pretty old.
athlete. That's not, you're not lasting much longer as a freak athlete in the NFL, being 29 years old. I'm being honest.
He's 28. I'm sorry.
Website
He'll
is
turn 29 by when the season starts.
Okay. Either way, Jalen Walker, like you said, freak athlete, could do it all. He's filling out their defense. I think the 49ers need to get defensive piece. If not a linebacker, I was reaching towards corner area, but I think they're doing fine. Well, they're not actually. They had one of the worst seasons last year. Wouldn't say it was a defensive fault, but either way, he lost a lot of defense. This guy's a defensive freak.
Going
it was a great
off
pick.
of their defense that they lost Javon Hargrave, which I think is very underrated of who they lost. Travarius Ward, Talamo Hufunga, Dre Greenlaw, just are like kind of the important ones there.
Yeah, the fact that you could lose that much on one that's crazy.
So I have them getting D tackle here. I have them getting Derek Harmon.
Okay.
Now this is not where he's projected to go. Derek Harmon's projected to be like 15 through 23, maybe.
Be honest, that's where I have him.
So I have them reaching to get Derek Harmon, who I think is the best D tackle in this draft. Very good.
You say that?
I do. I think he's the best D tackle by far.
Okay.
I don't know if he's rated the best D tackle, but I think he is. Very polished, very athletic.
Mason Graham is.
Oh, I forgot about him.
I was gonna. Graham is a
Mason
consensus fifth overall.
Yeah. I forgot. Yeah, whatever. But I mean, kind of filling the Javon Hargrave role across from Nick Bosa, and just kind of getting more of a pass rush to help your very bad now secondary. I think it's kind of a shoe-in fit. The only other guy, if Jalen Walker was here, I'd love Jalen Walker on this team, but I haven't been picked before. But this kind of just makes the most sense. I was actually tossing between Derek Harmon and Malachi Starks here, the Talamo Hufunga replacement. But I ended up going with Derek Harmon because I just like the fit. I like the pick for the Niners a lot better. What are you searching?
Something real quick. Give me 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Moving on to next week, though.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll get this information when I need this information. Anyways, moving on to 12, which is not now. I have the Cowboys, who honestly, the Cowboys are a weird team, in my opinion,
They
in
sure
this
are.
draft. I feel like, I don't know.
Weird things.
Yeah, I don't know what they need, but I feel like there's also, I don't know. They could use it all, but they kind of have it filled out too. I don't know how to explain it. It's weird. They need a running back. They could use a wide receiver. They could use some defensive pieces. They could use a lot. Because their defense, not very good last year. I'm just going to pull revenge off. I gave him Jihad Campbell, Will Campbell's brother.
It's not Will Campbell's brother. Oh, man. I love Jihad Campbell.
I love Jihad Campbell, too.
That's kind of a reach, man.
Is it a reach?
Yeah, he's ranked the 24th best player in this draft.
Well, you put, what's his name?
Derek Harmon. I did reach on Derek Harmon. You're allowed to reach. I'm just saying.
I know. I'm trying to defend my pick here. I'll be honest. There's not a lot of defense I could do because, like I said, I'm not a Cowboys supporter, nor am I. Well, I'm a Cowboys hater. I'm a Cowboys hater, but I'm a football supporter. I'm being honest. I like good offenses. They don't have much off of. Do I even call Dak a weapon? Screw it. We'll call Dak a weapon. Dak and CeeDee Lamb. Who's wide receiver 2?
Yeah. It's they traded for him. It's Jonathan Mingo.
Jonathan Mingo, wide receiver 2 of the Dallas Cowboys. I just can't hear. That's ridiculous. I don't like that. I don't like that. You know what it is? I'm a CeeDee Lamb supporter, and I think that's going to crucially kill CeeDee Lamb's freaking stock because the whole defense is just going to cover CeeDee Lamb because who else do you want to cover? Do you have no one else?
Yeah.
Anyways, I really wanted them to get a wide receiver here or a running back. However, if it wasn't Max Genti, they weren't going to get anyone else. And I just think taking any of the other wide receivers at 12 seems kind of weird. Honestly, there could be a world where you trade down. However, the Cowboys had one of the biggest turnarounds of all time, having one of the greatest defenses ever to having one of the worst defenses I've ever seen in my life. The Cowboys defense had a fall off, a fat fall off. Could have been attributed to Trayvon Diggs' injury. Could be attributed to coaching.
Coordinator.
They did lose the greatest defensive coordinator of all time.
It's not Mike Zimmer. It's Dan Quinn. They lost Dan Quinn. They have Mike Zimmer.
I don't know what you're talking about. Greatest defensive coordinator of all time, Mike Zimmer. Tragic he had to pass away like that. Jahad Campbell, though, very good defensive. Like you said, could be a reach. However, I think their corners are fine. You don't need that. I think their edge rushers are whatever. It came down to defensive players on the board. I like Jahad Campbell to fit what they don't have right now that weren't offensive weapons. So that's why I have him going to Cowboys.
Yeah, so I actually have a wide receiver left that I gave him here. I have Terrell McMillan going 12 to the Cowboys. Reading a little stats here. The Cowboys' success rate with the pass were 26th in the league. Late down, they were 31st. So passing downs, they were 31st. Motion, 23rd. Success rate overall, they were 24th. So not a great offense here. Granted, Dak was injured for most of the year. But like you said, they're all going to cover CeeDee Lamb. You did all my arguing for me. All right? Here's what the Cowboys are going to think. They're going to think, look how good a season a really elite wide receiver can have if paired with another elite season. The Bengals. And think about it like this. If they can copy what the Bengals do, they have a better defense than us. So if we can do a similar offense, we're going to be so much better because we have a better defense. So getting Tate McMillan here, a really deep threat, 6'4", good speed. Oh my gosh. Next to CeeDee, sign me up.
I think that's falling. I don't know if he's making it that far down.
I don't know. He's a weird.
It's a
pretty weak receiver draft. So him compared to all the other receivers.
Yeah, I'm looking at though in my draft. If he doesn't get picked by the Panthers, do I see him getting picked by the Saints? Probably not.
No, they have Olave.
Yeah, yeah. And then you think of the Bears.
They have.
No, because they have the older guys. Yeah, but it's whatever. But yeah, World War you're right. And then 49ers, I don't see that either.
49ers is kind of tough. I was kind of thinking about it. But they have Ayuk and they have
because they re-signed Ayuk and Ricky Pearsall. It just felt it was weird too.
Hey, Jawan Jennings had a really good year.
He's
looking better than Ayuk.
I think with that, I guess there is a good chance he could fall all the way down to 12 because of the teams in between. But that's kind of odd. Moving on though. Shoot, you want to start off on your number
here, man? I have Tyler Booker going to the Dolphins. They really need a guard. And he's the best guard.
I don't have Tyler. Okay, I need you to talk about that for a little longer while I search up my information. Talk about Tyler Booker for a second.
Not much here, man. It's an offensive guard pick. Tyler Booker is a very good guard, one of the best guards we've seen recently. The Dolphins kind of need everything on their team. They're just not a good team. They do really need guard help. That is their number one need coming into this draft. And I think Tyler Booker is kind of in my eyes, Mason Graham's a shoo-in pick for the Jags. In my eyes, Will Johnson's a shoo-in pick for the Panthers. And then Tyler Booker's a shoo-in pick for the Dolphins. And then I also have another shoo-in pick at 14 after this as well. They just need guards. If I pull up the Dolphins, it might take me a second. What's their city? Miami. If I go to the Miami Dolphins, I can look at there's not really a lot of offensive line stats that you can do. There's pressure rate, I guess. But offensive success rate with motion, they were 12th. So, middle of the pack. Offensive success rate with late down, they were 23rd. So teams blitzing and really knowing their passing. Offensive success rate versus the blitz, they were 26th. So that's it's an offensive line stat, you know what I mean? So not really many stats to back up getting an offensive lineman other than their offensive linemen, especially guards, are pretty bad. So get a guard, the best guard here, a generational guard, if you might add. Are you ready yet?
Yeah, man, you're doing great. I listened to everything you said. Be honest, still couldn't find his name. Dolphins. They lost on recently. Was his name like Xavier Howard? Was that his
Xavier
name?
Howard. Yeah, Xavier Howard.
Xavier Howard.
He's
They
still a free agent,
lost.
I think.
Well, it doesn't matter. Not on Dolphins.
Yeah, he's on the Dolphins.
And I think that was a pretty key piece to lose on their defense, and in the
Oh,
back. So
I
I
know who you're getting. I
have.
like it. I like it.
Do you know who I'm getting at here?
I hope so. The best corner available.
Well, he's not a corner. He's a safety. Malachi Starks. I
Okay.
have Malachi Stark because corner safety. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's the same thing, but it's defensive back. The defensive back, I have Malachi Starks going to the Dolphins purely for the reason of losing Xavier Howard. Very key piece on our defense. You lost it. You're not replacing a 1-to-1, but you're giving their defense a defensive back that is well justified to be, NFL ready. It feels right to me. I know you were making your argument that I definitely listened to the whole thing about why they need an offensive line. However, I just like the idea of losing and replacing pretty good. So that's why I have his pick here.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to check here. Continue.
You want me to consider my next pick? I'll be honest, I don't
Yeah,
have much more Malachi Starks.
Yeah.
Besides,
No,
I
go through
love
next
his
pick.
name.
Go through next pick.
Beautiful name. Starks. I can't wait to see that on the back of a jersey. Anyway, this next pick number 14. I feel like we have the same pick.
This to me is a shoe-in pick. This is
Is
like,
it?
This is like
okay, I'm gonna tell mine because
he's fallen perfectly here. This is a big
exactly. That was almost my reason. That it was almost fell too perfectly. We got to this team and this guy was there. I was like, wow, that's almost perfect. Tyler Warren.
Yep, Tyler Warren.
Nice. Colts. Apparently the only team in the world who needs a tight end desperately. And so lo and behold, the tight end appeared perfectly at their draft pick.
Fantastic.
Yep.
If he wasn't, oh my gosh, he is. If we haven't been cursed with like the recent picks, tight ends, like, Brock Bowers isn't, but like Michael Mayer being a first round pick, Kyle Pitts being the 4th overall pick. If we haven't had those curses, he would be, oh my gosh. And like, they don't really need tight ends in the top picks. I can see maybe small chance the Jets getting him, but if the Jets don't get him, I have him going to the Colts.
Because I'm gonna be honest, out of all these players, like I said, I was very limited knowledge coming into this. Out of all these players, I had no idea because last year, I knew a lot about the draft last year. But for me, still, even knowing about it, having someone like Brock Bowers just like be such a high pick in my head, that's not often. Not often do you see a tight end that's like, whoa, like he's like the biggest stud ever, like a top. He's gonna get picked early. That just doesn't happen too often when I see it. So to see that a tight end was this sure to get in like the top half of the first draft or the first round was like I almost wanted to look up his highlights because I got really curious. But yeah, apparently he's an absolute beast. Can't say I've seen it firsthand, but absolute beast going to a team that absolutely needs a tight end. So seemed pretty guaranteed to me.
Yeah. I agree.
You want me to start off again? Number 15.
Yeah, go ahead.
Number 15.
Oh, this one hurt me, man, because I really wanted this guy for the Bengals for my pick.
Well, maybe I have this guy. Could not tell you how to pronounce the guy's name.
Never
I'm
mind.
gonna try. Well,
this is a very easy name.
I think I know who you're talking about. That maybe I might mispronounce it just slightly.
Is
but
his first name Nick? Is that who you're talking about?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say Nick Emenwari because that one's kind of difficult.
No. Shamar Stewart. Is that his name?
Yeah, Shamar Stewart.
Shamar Stewart. I have him going to the Falcons, doing exactly what he should have done last year and taking Dallas Turner instead of some 40-year-old quarterback in the top 10 or whatever his age was. Either way, I do believe I had to stop put up for this one too.
Their edge rush is bad. They're the worst.
It's like 31 out of it's bad. It is really. They had like no sacks last year. It was bad. They had a terrible edge rushing thing. And it doesn't help that they literally passed on who they should have drafted in last year's draft to get a quarterback. That probably did not help the fan base or anyone think that like what they did was correct. Because their edge was terrible. The rush was terrible. This one seemed like a pretty sure way pick. Pick a great player at the position for their position. Hopefully you don't jump the gun again and get a third backup quarterback in case they all go down. But
Shamar Stewart, extremely athletic. One of I think it's the 3rd greatest like combine results ever, with all of his stuff combined, like physicals,
really
speed, weight, broad jump, all that.
6'5", 270 pounds.
He's
That's
an
a
athletic freak. The
for
problem
a
is he's a
rusher.
little
That's
raw,
big.
just a little raw. And I
What do you mean
think
by that?
he's not as well defined as the edge rusher I have going here, Mike Green. Mike Green is
Oh,
not
yeah. Okay.
the jump off the page athleticism, but he is the better technique edge rusher out of the two. I have them both literally on the same tier. I think they're both an A tier edge rusher in this class. And so like Mike Green, Shamar Stewart, really interchangeable here.
Is that the guy who you wanted to go on the Bengals?
Yeah,
and you're
Mike
like, oh,
Green.
easy name to pronounce. Cause I was like, yeah, it's a pretty easy name.
Yeah, I really like Mike Green. But you know what? Falcons get him here.
Well, glad you said that because coming to my next pick, number 16, I do have Mike Green. Similar to you, pretty similar in terms of rankings. I had them. I just give I give once again limited knowledge when it comes to these tiebreakers. I go by pure like PFF rating grading, who has the higher draft value, and it just fell to Shamar just a little bit. I think the Cardinals are in a similar situation where they have pretty bad. They don't have a bad defense. Well, it's not amazing, but specifically their edge rushing seems I've never found that missing spot ever since the loss of tragically passing away JJ Watt. Rest in peace. I'm waiting for you to chime in and tell me he didn't pass away, but
He
you're
didn't
just
die, man.
okay, thank you for letting them know in case I just accidentally broke the news. Ever since it never really had a replacement good enough. I think their offense has good enough pieces right now. Some could have probably put an O tackle here, but I really, like you said, Mike Green, really do like him, and I think they do need help on the edge on their defense overall. So playing them there seem good.
This is my shock pick of the draft. At 16, going to the Cardinals here. The Cardinals need defense. They do. But I have them locking up their offense of the future with Trey McBride, Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison, and then adding a wide receiver, Matthew Golden.
Oh my God.
From
That
Texas.
is, see, I didn't want to give him, because I know you're a Bengals fan, and in your head, you need two wide receivers to be successful. I'm just, no, teams don't need, you don't need a good running back, a good quarterback, and multiple good wide receivers, especially if you have a good tight end too. It just doesn't seem right to me. If you have one good wide receiver, one good tight end, one good running back, one good quarterback, your offense is fine.
When
you
have
don't
you seen
need
that succeed? Give me a champion.
Okay, I'm just saying. Okay. Well, let's stop acting like T. Higgins and Jamar Chase single-handedly brought their team to Super Bowl.
I mean,
I wouldn't say that.
man.
I wouldn't say that. What's it called? Anyways, like I'm saying, it just seems wrong, especially when you just freshly drafted one. It just seems wrong to me to give them another one.
Back to back. Really good. They complement each other very well. They will be together for the next 4 to 5 years.
Also, I was going to say
exclusively focus on everything else.
I was going to say
their offensive line is good. I don't have them taking a tackle. I like both of their tackles being Paris Johnson and Jonah Jackson. Jonah Jackson? Jonah
Hill.
Not Jonah Hill.
Pretty big guy. He probably could play your tackle.
They have 2 good tackles. I like their center. Their guards are fine. I just like, and here's the thing. I don't think they get an edge rusher here. I think if they were to get a defensive player, it'd be Walter Nolan. But I just don't justify the pick of getting Walter Nolan that high. And I think Matthew Golden
Glad you said that.
Fits perfectly here. And again, it's my shock pick. It's a luxury pick.
Matthew
Golden. This is a pick that you'd see a Ravens take because they have everything else figured out. You know what I mean?
It's crazy you're saying that about the Cardinals, but I mean, I guess to see what you mean.
But that's
Cardinals
why
are weird. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just weird. They had a decent offense. Why not just make it elite? Make that their identity.
Not everyone wants to be like Bengals, man. I don't want to be like Bengals. Speaking of the Bengals, you're gonna be happy about this person I'm putting on the Bengals.
Okay.
Why did you actually sound so happy?
Go ahead.
In my perfect world, for you, I guess, I have, according to you, the best defensive tackle in the draft, Derek Harmon.
I love that pick.
I have him dropping all the way down to 17, which will go to the Bengals. I know I'm a casual in this draft, but I really like the picks I made. I just I could see all these happening. So in your perfect world, I could see Mr. Derek moving down here.
See, here's the thing. A D tackle to me is second for what we need. I think we need an edge rusher more because we have like 4
You guys
above
need
average D
defense in
tackles.
general. Let's
I
not
know.
don't be
But
greedy here.
I know,
You
but in
guys-
my mock, there's an like the upper echelon of edge rushers, one just fell to us. So I like the pick. If I don't get the guy, so okay, if I don't get Mike Green, Derek Harmon, I want this guy that I have.
okay, I think I know exactly who you're gonna say. You can say it.
Shamar Stewart.
Well, that's not what you're gonna say. Oh wait, yes
So
it is. Never mind.
falls right into my lap here. I think Mike Green is it's literally 50-50 if the Falcons take Mike Green or Shamar Stewart. Whichever one they don't take, I think the Bengals will take. Or if Derek Harmon somehow, because like if Derek Harmon falls down here, that means Mike Green or Shamar probably went earlier.
Well, because you didn't say. Oh no, because you did say Jalen. Who? Why do I have this guy here? Who did you put gone already that I
Who do you
haven't
have?
said?
Who did you have? You had Derek Harmon. I have Derek Harmon going to the Niners, but you have Jalen Walker going there. But I have Will Campbell, or you had Will Campbell going to the Bears, but I had Jalen Walker going to the Bears.
I don't know, man. This is weird.
Like the reason you still have a player available that I don't, I have Matthew Golden going high, and you
also have Jahad Campbell. I always and Malachi Starks.
Yeah.
Weird draft. All right, man. Keep going.
Yeah, Shamar, we need edge pressure, obviously. That's all I got. Like we have
Really?
like
I
four,
expected some crazy analytical Bengals talk from you.
We have 4 corner twos. Our corners are fine. Our new defensive coordinator loves running a 3-3-5, which involves 1 D tackle and 2 edge rushers. And we have a decent D tackle room now with our signings and hopefully development. So just getting another edge rusher in the rotation would be better to pair with Trey. Like Trey Hendrickson with behind him Miles Murphy, and then on the other side Joseph Osai and Shamar Stewart would be great. Our corners just take time to develop. Last year, our corner DJ Turner was like 5th best in press coverage and 4th best in breakups. In the limited time he played, so he showed some good flashes. Dax Hill was one of the best slot corners before he got hurt. So I like our secondary enough to pick D tackle here. I think or defensive line here. Like I said, I would in order if I had to pick, I would pick Derek Harmon 1, Shamar Stewart 2, Mike Green 3. That's probably the list I would want, but I just don't think Derek Harmon falls this far.
Well, I do. Moving on though, pick number 18. I think this was not a questionable pick, but I did see in a lot of other people's mock drafts them having different parts of the ball taken. Anyway, those I have Kelvin Banks Jr. going to the Seahawks.
I do as well.
Oh, perfect. I saw a lot of people giving him a wide receiver, which like I could get behind.
But there's like 2 good wide receivers in this class, and everyone else is just kind of
I wouldn't say that. I'd say there's like okay, well no. Okay, yes. After Mr. T Mac, I think there's a second level to wide receivers, but there's like 3 to 4 guys in that level, and then it's a fall off. That's what it is. So I think there's like 3 or 4 guys after them who could go first round, and people wouldn't be mad at them. But that's how I see it anyway. Either way, I don't know. Do you have Cooper Kupp? Do you have Jackson Smith? That's all you need. Okay, we don't need a third guy. I know the other 2 are kind of questionable, because Cooper's age and Jackson has always been like kind of like a like overshadowed guy because of players around him. But I think they'll be fine offensive wise. I think giving an OTA, because I don't know if you remember from last year, one of their newly found members, Sam Darnold, one of his biggest downfalls is if this man doesn't have time in the pocket, he will throw the game. He will take the ball and throw it into the stands.
They need some tackles, man.
I think they need to protect this man at all costs, because give him less than perfect time and he might not throw the ball to anyone and just take the sack, to be honest, or throw a pick, worst case scenario. Either way, good offensive tackle. They need one for him. I like the pick.
Yeah, so I have that as well. Took the words right out of my mouth. I'm going to go straight into 19 because I feel like I have to defend this pick a little bit. We'll lead him going earlier.
Okay.
I have the Bucs getting Malachi Starks here. Pairing him with Antoine Winfield. The Bucs last year were 22nd against the pass. They were 20th on late downs, which is almost exclusively pass. 25th on play action, which play action is actually sneakily a safety stat, because play action, depending on the coverage of a safety, will either roll down and then have to get back up when they realize it's a play action, or they'll roll in the bot. Like a safety's role on play action is a lot more needed than people realize. So 25th there. Then again, same thing with the RPO. A safety is kind of that second, the last resort on an RPO if the wide receivers get good blocks, the corners can't get there. So pairing him with Antoine Winfield, Malachi Starks is like a generational safety. He is so good. But because he's a safety, positional value, same reason why Tyler Warren's at 14. Malachi Starks at 19, I think is just the perfect fit here.
I like it, man. I like it. Well, I have something similar, not very too similar, but I do have a defensive piece. I have might mispronounce the name. It's either Mikel Williams or Michael Williams. Is that there's Michael, not Michael?
Michael Williams.
Michael Williams. I have going to the Bucks. I think the Bucks have one of the most underwhelming defenses in the league.
Yeah.
Once again, I probably have stats somewhere. Every time I did like a defensive stat, I always got something for. Well, Bucks did have the fourth most yards allowed per game, which
third most
like
yards
you said,
total as well. Flip of the script, huh?
Not great. Not great. I also have there. Is this the Bucks? No, this is the Falcons. Anyways, I did some research that I don't have the notes put up anymore, but I had good reasoning a few hours ago why he should be here. Either way, like I said, he didn't have a great defense at all. Also, this is maybe just a random. This is like just a small biased kind of thing that happened to me, but something about the appealingness of a first round player who played edge who went to Georgia. Something about that just seems
that's
like you're getting a dog. You're getting a literal dog. Like he came from you're getting an actual, probably like a dog. If he did good in Georgia, he's gonna do good in the league. That's like a default. So by default, it's like a small bias I had just having him, just picked this early.
Yeah. Who's your 20, man? Going to the Broncos.
Interesting pick I have here. Little small interesting pick I have here. I'm being honest. I don't know how he fell this far. Well, I mean, it's not crazy far, but I definitely had a lot of consideration putting him on teams before this. I have Matthew Golden going to the Broncos. You have your newly rebuilding team you're doing with Bo Nix, being the centerpiece around it. Bo Nix, he did a thing. Bo Nix did a thing last year. Do they have much weapons on the offense? Not really. Do you have
Here's the thing. Coming into this draft before free agency, they needed a running back, a wide receiver 2, and a tight end.
Yeah.
And maybe defensive line. I'll explain why later. They solved tight end. They got Evan Ingram. Wide receiver 2, you can honestly get in round 2, in my opinion. Yeah. I also have Matthew Golden going before this. And then running back, Omarion Hampton is a very, very good running back. End of first round, early second round, but not justified picking at 20.
Glad you said that. Sounds like you're defending my case, but did you put? I mean, but like, who'd you?
I did not have
Broncos, man.
If Matthew Golden was still on the board, Matthew Golden should be their number 1 target.
Yeah, clearly. And like I said, Matthew Golden, I would say he did fall a little bit. There's a few teams prior to this who I could see him going to. Like you said, Cardinals, Cowboys, some small world, maybe the 49ers. Who knows? All I know is that he could have went somewhere. But he did fall all the way to Broncos, and like you said, if perfect he fell this far down to him, take him. It's perfect.
Yeah, so I have Walter Nolan, the D tackle, coming here. So here's the thing. The Broncos are going to re-sign Zach Allen, their edge rusher. They're going to re-sign Nick Benito. They have 3 defensive tackles that are free agents next year. And I didn't know this until speaking to a Broncos fan. So Walter Nolan is kind of the pick here. Learn from those D tackles, but then be the shoe-in D tackles, and they have a defensive line forever. I mean, signing-wise, they signed Dre Greenlaw. They signed Talamo Hufunga. They got great defensively when they're already a great team. So just adding to that defense to continue the great defense, young defense, just makes a ton of sense here.
I like it, man. You want to move on to pick 21?
Sure, go ahead.
I was asking if you wanted to move.
I have Jahdae Barron going to the Steelers here. The corner from Texas.
Okay.
Do you? Who do you have? Just tell me.
That's not who I have. I have I believe you said his name earlier. Try to remember. I could say the first name to help you out, but I want you to remember on your own.
Oh, you want me to remember? Oh, okay.
You said his name earlier because I said his name was pretty.
Nick Emenwari.
Yes, Nick Emenwari.
That's interesting.
That's who I have going to the Ravens because why? I mean, the
Ravens.
Drafted. Oh,
Steelers.
I meant the Steelers. Actually, finish Finish your rant, please.
You don't have Nick Emenwari going here, do you? You have him going to the Ravens.
Finish your rant, please. No. Finish your rant. I'll explain it in a
So
second.
the Steelers' offense was terrible, but their
How
defense.
could I forget?
What?
Keep going. No, just finish your rant.
Late down, they were 14th. Where is it? Defensive versus pass, they were 24th. Getting another corner in this room where they have Minka up top, but they have oh my gosh, who's their corner one? Why am I blanking on his name? He's like decent. Joey Porter. Adding a corner two to that defense would really help things out, especially in the AFC North, where there's a lot of good wide receivers going around. Getting another corner there just helps a ton. Jade Barron, kind of the shoe-in pick here for me as well.
Anyways, moving to my 21. I wish I had a bell or something, or like a little ringer.
Hold on. I got you. Oh, shoot.
That
was just the wrong thing. I'm sorry. All right, go ahead. Ready?
That wasn't a bell either. I have the first trade of my thing. Steelers trade with the Ravens. That's why I got it mixed up. Sorry. I have Steelers. This is a Steelers trade, but this is a Steelers offer to the Ravens. This is how it goes in my head. The details aren't important because I'll be honest, this trade got declined a few times, and I might have added a little too much for the. But I do see a world. This is what happens. Okay, Steelers offer to Raven to trade down. The trade down to the Ravens specifically because Ravens probably want to come up here for some reason. Steelers want to go down for some reason. I'll talk about that when we get to the Steelers. But now we have the Ravens at pick 21 taking, what was his name? Nick
Emenwari.
Nick Emenwari. D had the 30 I'm trying to fact check this. D had the 31st worst passing defense in the entire league. They just drafted.
Okay. To be
fair, what was his name? Nate Wiggins.
Like, I feel bad. I don't think they were that bad. They just had Jamar Chase drop 700 yards on them in 2 games.
Okay,
like it's a little unfortunate.
I get okay, but that's the thing. You're in a league. That's how people do get players sometimes based off of their division, and you are in a division with Jamar Chase
and T. Higgins and DK Metcalf and.
But that's one game exactly. Going to the other teams, exactly. Going to the other teams. Okay. Yes, I'm glad we're getting onto this. That no matter, I don't care. Sure, Jamar Chase carried the fall of the Ravens' defensive stats.
Yes, he did.
But
0-2 though.
Anyway, he just drafted. What was his name? Nate Wiggins, the freaking twig.
Yeah,
he's like 100 pounds.
Yes, Nate Wiggins.
How much does he weigh? Like 105?
I don't know, man.
Something like that. He's like
105. It's like 165.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, they drafted Nate Wiggins. I don't want them to draft another corner. However, secondary still secondary. Take the best safety on the board left, which is Nick Emenwari. Sorry, Nick Emenwari. Beautiful last name. Happy to call you that on the back of your jersey whenever you get to the league eventually.
Yeah.
Either way, it's a great pick for them. They move up, get an amazing secondary guy with. I don't know if he would have fallen because there's other corners and safeties who definitely probably would have gone before, dropped all the way down to 27. And I have good reasoning why Steelers should not be this high in the thing for what they want.
I understand. Yeah, I probably have similar.
So with that being said, Steelers dropped, Ravens come up, take their secondary guy they need. Moving on to pick 22. If you want me to continue, you.
I'll go. 22. I have Colston Loveland.
Great pick.
So pretty simple here. The Chargers need a tight end. Their receivers aren't amazing, so why not get a receiving tight end? And he went to Michigan. You know who
he went to Michigan? I do know who coached Michigan. You are so correct. So correct that I put him on my number 22 pick as well.
I mean, exactly. It's just a match made in heaven, man.
Match made in heaven. We could skip the rest of that, to be honest, because that is the only reasons I haven't picked that 23, man. 23. I saw so much people's draft, and I didn't like it. Maybe I'm delusional for saying this is how it should be. I saw so many people's drafts, mock drafts, and everything, and it wasn't what I wanted it to be. So I made it what I wanted it to be. Number 23, Luther Burden the third.
Whoa!
I have him.
Whoa!
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I have a wide receiver above him.
Me too. Well, not me too, but like I saw people did. I don't believe it. Luther Burden the third. I have him. What are you laughing at?
The third.
I don't know, man. The thirds are crazy. Imagine how much thirds are there in the world. Not a
Okay,
lot.
man, just
That's
continue.
crazy. What I'm trying to say, I saw a lot of people didn't have the Green Bay taking a wide receiver. Like, guys,
Dude, Jalen Reed was a very good wide receiver one before he got hurt.
let's calm down, guys. They need a wide receiver. They need, like, even if it's a chance, freaking Justin Jefferson not taken first overall. So you don't need to like get a wide. You don't if I don't care if you pick 23, get a wide receiver. You need a wide receiver, even if you just reaching on chance he's become the next freaking whatever wide receiver you want him to be. You need a wide receiver. You need any help you can right there. Do you have 10 wide receiver? I'd give them like, do you have one or two twos in there, and the rest of them are threes? Like, do you have not even? Do you have like one wide receiver two, and everyone else is threes? Anyways, though, sorry for venting a little bit, but it's honestly
Yeah.
almost getting frustrating
No, it's
as
okay,
a
man.
NFC North fan in general, just seeing this team just run around with a bunch of high schoolers for wide receiver. Anyway,
So I have them getting Michael Williams going to the Packers here. They just need an edge rusher. Looking at their stats,
would
here,
you say they need an edge rusher more than a wide receiver?
I do. I like the receiving room. I know you don't, but I think they have a lot of potential. They're young. Jalen Love, what? Jordan Love. Jordan Love loves Jaden Reed as his one, and Christian Watson, if he can stay healthy, is a very serviceable too. Looking at some stats here, defensive rates versus pass, they're 28th. Yes, that falls on the secondary, but it means they're also not generating a pass rush, which Michael Williams will do. Defensive success rate with blitz, 23rd in the league. They just need to get pressure. They need to get a guy on a quarterback, and I think Michael Williams can do that pretty easily here, and he kind of falls perfectly to Green Bay.
I missed the Clay Matthews, Aaron Rodgers days.
Yeah.
That was a beautiful team. Anyways, moving on to pick number 24. By the way, you said you have a trade. When is this trade coming in?
Oh, you'll see.
Okay. Pick number 24. I have my Minnesota Vikings selecting some person's name I cannot pronounce. I will attempt, because one day I will be wearing his jersey. Jahdae Barron.
Jahdae Barron.
That was is that really correct?
Easy, man.
Really?
Very easy.
In what world is an H go next to a D? That doesn't make sense. Put a dash in between.
Jahdae.
Yeah, put a dash like in your name or something, like Jahdae, right, not whatever. Jahdae Barron, corner. I mean, I feel like the Vikings got a pretty simple equation coming into this draft. Our offense is fine. Our defense is okay. I saw a lot of people putting like an edge or not an edge, an interior lineman for us, which I can understand. Was it Gray Zabel? What do you mean? The person? Are you talking about
the interior lineman?
I'm talking about D lineman, interior D lineman.
Oh, okay.
Like interior defensive lineman. Because like we're missing a piece here and there, but at the end of the day, it's like last year was picture proof that we turned a team of absolute nobodies into a very hardy defense just with the playmaking calls. I don't think we need to put people in the D line who have like big names when you blitz as hard as
Javon Hargrave.
Yes, but that is true. Okay, you know what? Yes, that's true. I guess we could just make that the reasoning why we don't need to draft a defensive line. But whatever. We did lose one of our secondaries, Karen Bynum, one of my favorite defensive players we've had in the Vikings in a while. I loved him so much. Our corners have always been a weak spot for us. Pat Pete was kind of the last dying wish of our corners, like to stay alive, and then we lost Pat Pete.
It's actually funny you talk about Pat Pete. I'm sorry. It's actually funny you talk about losing Cam Bynum here. Because for me, I have Nick Emanwari perfectly coming in and just filling the shoes of Cam Bynum, being that safety that you missed next to Harrison.
It's a great pick. If there was a great safety left, I probably would take, because also, let's be honest, Harrison Smith's on his last life. Like, bro's what, like really 33 or something? 35. He's a 35 white guy playing defense. Again,
that he is.
Not to give a pat on my back of the NFC North, but he's a 35-year-old white guy playing safety in the NFC North. There's some dogs in there. Anyway, Burrow's on his last life. And like you said, we did less Cam Bynum. So a safety pick here. I do love that too. However, corners have always been a weakness.
Bro. A physical specimen.
No matter what,
ball hawk, great
defensive back, it needs help. So any corner safety that we can get as high a pick as possible, solidify it, because we need all the help. It's like a pretty simple recipe here for the Vikings going into the draft.
Yeah, going to the Texans here. I wanted to get a wide receiver here. You're probably
Uh,
wondering why.
well, I don't wonder why. I think the most
Because
obvious
Tank
team that needs
Dell's
a wide
out for a
receiver.
year, but they do
Yes.
have Nico Collins.
They also lost someone.
They lost Diggs. Oh,
Don't say, oh, Diggs
he
is
was
one of the
out for
greats,
the
okay?
year, man. But
Anyways.
I have them with a boring pick, so I'll go first. I've been getting Gray Zabel, a guard from North Dakota State.
Really?
I love Gray Zabel. I've watched some film on him. This dude's a fucking animal.
I'm going to keep it
Like, oh my
honest.
god,
I have another person in between, like another guard before him.
what?
Yep.
Oh, I just don't like him, man. I
Really?
just I'm not high anyway.
Well, I'm glad good you say that because I'll tell you when I get to
Gray Zabel here, so that is my pick. They
my pick
lost
for the.
everyone on their offensive line, so they need people.
I understand it. However, CJ Stroud's a goat. He can do whatever he wants. I have them getting a wide receiver. Very hard to pronounce here. You probably know his name, but just
Amika
who's left for the
Egbuka.
wide receiver. Yes, Amika Egbuka. It's giving
what's
giving
funny?
Puka Nakua vibes. What?
He holds every record almost for a receiver at Ohio State,
Which
He
is
was
crazy.
but he was never the best receiver at Ohio State when he was there. Because he
That's a
played
good thing
with
to say. Because
Garrett
I was going to
Wilson.
make that.
He played with it was Garrett Wilson,
Did he play with Jackson Smith?
Jackson Smith and Jigba, Marvin Harrison Jr., and then this year was the little guy. What I forget his name. The 17-year-old, very young, very good.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't know his name though.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was another huge reason for me. Not just but I don't know why this is like kind of blanking. CJ Stroud went to Ohio State, right?
He did. They did play together.
Yes. There's obviously that, and obviously like even take away the connection. Ohio State specifically does produce some very good wide receivers. So having one be a first round pick, they need a wide receiver. They've obviously had their losses with Tank Dell's injury and yes, Stephon Diggs leaving is a hit to their offense. Gavin, that is that is real. They need help, and the fact that this kind of chemistry and offer is here for them, I don't see where we don't take it in my perfect draft.
26, man. Tell me about it.
26. I don't know if this is a boring pick or not. I have Siobhan Reveal. You want to help me pronounce it?
It's 7.
Stop, you're lying.
No, the H is silent. Deadass. Savon Revel.
Savon Revel.
Yep.
Who decides that Hitler was silent? Who
I
decided?
don't know, man.
Anyway, Savon Revel. I was gonna say the cringiest thing ever. I'm not gonna say it. Savon Revel. Going to the Rams. I believe this was another just like just like a stat to player type of thing. I looked up like just like they needed help here. This player was available. It felt like a good pick. They're doing pretty good. I think elsewhere, like on their offenses looks pretty good. I know they did. Who did they gain? They gained someone.
Devontae Adams.
That's who it was. They gained Devontae Adams. Like their offense is looking fine. I have zero worry about that. When you have your core players, you have your core players. So I don't know. This was just felt like a piece missing that they needed, and it was available, so I gave it to them.
Yeah, similarly, I went defense here. I have them getting Jihad Campbell, just kind of do everything linebacker, just to plug and play. They need a lot of defense, so just getting the best defensive player here.
No wonder you thought I reached on Jihad Campbell.
Yeah,
I kind of forgot you haven't said his name yet. It's been over like 10 picks.
Yeah, so I have Jihad Campbell going here. So yeah.
Oh gosh, bro.
27.
And then moving on to
my
Let me go first.
Okay, you had a trade. So I have the Ravens here originally. This is their pick. I have them getting Amika Egbuka. Getting wide receiver to pair with Zay Flowers. A lot of the Ravens' loss recently have come down to their skill positions. Mark Andrews, Zay Flowers fumbling at the goal line in the AFC Championship. Remember last year or 2 years ago against the Chiefs.
It
comes down to the skill position. So
but
they have a very good thing that they're doing there with all of their pieces. But I think it's either wide receiver or corner. And in my draft, the good corners are gone and the good secondary is gone.
Unless you trade up like I did make them. Anyway, sure. They have their moments here and there where like it's all about that offensive one play. But the reason why it goes down to that is because their defense needs to hold up for a little more than to make it put on a one play in their offense. If it shouldn't, that's why Lamar, I think, had that pretty good speech when what's his name? Irrelevant now.
Mark Andrews.
Mark Andrews. Oh gosh, who's that guy? Dropped the ball in the end zone. It's like he can't be all like he should have caught it. He did the right thing. It was all like it's on the team. we should not have been in that situation in the first place. He was like, I shouldn't have thrown a pick. Defense should have held up better to not make it a one possession game. And it was true. That's very true. It is, even though it comes down to those one things, it should not have to come down to those one plays. Sure, if you have better players, which is kind of hard to say is Mark Andrews, but anyway, I don't know. I can see both sides though. Moving on though to my 27. Steelers did trade down.
Yeah.
Steelers did trade down with the 21 for. I could not tell you the picks. Well, I have the picks right here. Actually,
let's just say they're second and third next year, and they're third this year.
Gosh, the Steelers wish they gave that up for this.
I'm just kidding. Let's say the Ravens. The Ravens gave up their first and their second and a fourth next year, because the Steelers don't have a second round pick this year. So traded it for DK.
Anyways, I think the pieces that the Steelers need were obvious. They need a quarterback. They might be the most quarterback needy team in the league. Second, they need a running back because they just lost the greatest running back of all time, Najee Harris. I don't know how he's even in the league still, to be honest. Anyways, they need those two players. Those are not
6 straight 1,000-yard rushing seasons, man.
That is purely attributed to I don't know what, but not him. Not him. Who's getting those yards? I don't know. I need to look up how much yards he has after what's it called? Yards after tackle or yards after contact. Yeah, I need to look at how much yards he has after contact because I'm not buying it. I'm not buying. He's ran through 1,000 yards worth of people throughout his years. Anyways, what was I talking about again? Oh yeah, they need a running back. They need a quarterback. You get both those players later on in their life. This might be a reach, a huge reach. I don't think you're ready for what I would say. Coming to pick 27 to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're getting Jackson Dart.
Oh, I like it.
I picked
Jackson
27.
Dart, a young 20-year-old.
I had to pick in between the two. Give him a quarterback first round, and then they'll get the running back later, or get their running back now and get their quarterback later.
Hampton. I love Amarian
Amarian Hampton is probably. I don't know if they could get Amarian Hampton. Do you know the second round? I think Amarian Hampton might be gone. I think he might be gone in this trade.
They might get a second rounder.
Did they get a second? They might have gotten a second rounder.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I think like the Browns might get Amarian Hampton in the second round.
It's true. Yes. Amarian Hampton is a second round player. There is another. Who's the other quarterback name? Jason Milroe. Jalen Milroe. Also a late, not first round guy in my opinion.
I think Jalen Milroe is like a late second, like a mid to late second rounder. I think Jackson Dart is an early second rounder.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that the Steelers don't have a second round pick. That's where the players lie, where they really need. So I think they just took as much value as he possibly could here to trade as far back down as he could, because they really don't need to be this high up. All their players they need are going to be second round or later picks. So just go down as far as you can, get your value, and then take your quarterback, Jackson Dart, who I like. I mean, I could like seeing him in a first round pick. If the Steelers weren't here, he would not be a first round pick. But he is because the Steelers are here. Anyways, glad you liked my pick. I did like this trade I made.
Yeah. So coming in at 28, I have the Lions. I mean, it's as simple as this. The Lions have a very good defense, very good offense. You know what they're missing? An edge rusher, aside from Aiden Hutchinson.
Besides probably like the best edge rusher in the league, in my opinion.
Second best. They traded for Zadarius Smith. He's a free agent now. I doubt they re-sign him. I'm getting Nick Scorton here. The other Texas A&M guy, uber athletic, just pair him alongside Trey Hendrickson, watch them both flourish.
Glad you said that. Let me sit back up. Boom, coming onto the Lions, pick number 28. I have them also getting edge rusher. However, not Nick Scorton. I have him getting a guy who I think was undervalued in this draft. Beautiful name. I love his name. James Pierce Jr.
I'll tell you why.
I think I know why. I think I know why. Anyway, I still like. I mean, could I tell you why I like him a little better than Nick Scorton? No, but PFF grading system could. I do like him getting edge here. I had the edges listed on the board, had him rated highest, liked him. I knew he did fall for reasons, but he is at number 28, so I left him there for the Lions.
Yeah, my 29 here is Washington getting James Pierce.
I figured.
Rusher.
I did have him getting Nick Scorton, so yeah, we did do a little. We've done this a few times.
James Pierce has insane character issues. In the beginning of this year, he was projected to be a top 10 pick. Turns out, according to a bunch of sources, he has the worst anger issues and tantrums that coaches and players alike have ever seen. going back to high school levels, and that is just a massive red flag.
It
Um,
is, but skill, game is game.
but
It's the
he
fact
also
that
had
he
a slow
was.
year this year as well. He had a down year on top of all that, so it's just kind of turning a lot of teams off. But like, I could see him going as high as like I could see maybe even the Bengals like reaching on him. Like I don't want them to, but like I could see it.
That's what I'm saying. The skill is there for me to put him above Nick Swartzen, but yeah, I did hear about that. But that's like always whatever. Like George Pickens has character issues. Are we saying he's a bad player? No. He got drafted to the right city though. Anyway, you want to move on to number 30
Yeah,
because
go ahead,
technically
30 man.
that was our 29 and 28. So,
How are you?
pick 30. I have someone who I think you called already. Way earlier. I have Walter Nolan.
I like that. I like that pick.
I'll be honest. Bills were another one of the teams where I was considering having them trade up
Wait, this
with
is
the
funny.
Steelers.
We
What?
our Broncos and Bills pick are just flipped.
Oh, perfect. Oh, really? Oh, well.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I like that. I do like them getting a wide receiver, but at the end of the day, I like their offense for one reason. One man.
Josh
One
Allen.
legend. Josh Allen. Do I think he needs more players? Yeah. Do I think them not having more players is the reason why they lost their games and lost
Maybe.
I don't know. All I know is that they got so like their defense got slashed one year. I think it was like a year or two ago. They got slashed. Every good player gone. They're all gone. Anyways, though, I think they need to help put their defense back up. And Walter Nolan was the best defensive piece left. You have him drafted way higher. This is more like a somehow fall into them type of pick.
Yeah.
So I like him picking him up if he's still available here, which in my draft he was.
Yeah, so 30, I mentioned earlier. I have Luther Burden the third here. I'm pretty low on Luther Burden. He's just small. He's not super fast. He's 5'10". Not super fast, and that combination kind of scares you as a receiver. He's a very good route tech receiver, but I think he can kind of just be like a mini Stephon Diggs. Same play style of what Stephon was here without all the, But here's the thing. Shout out Thomas as I was talking to him about this, which you'll see on the NBA episode as a Denver fan. He actually helped me, like he convinced me to take Walter Nolan over Luther Burden here for the Broncos. You only take Luther Burden if you believe the wide receiver you already have is wide receiver 1. He does not think who's their thing? Marvin Mims? Or no, who's the Broncos wide receiver 1? Courtland Sutton. He does not believe Courtland Sutton is a true wide receiver 1. The Bills reportedly believe that Keon Coleman is their wide receiver 1 for the future.
I don't know how much I believe that.
I don't know if I believe it either, but yeah. So, and another receiver for Josh Allen. Just
because his little wide receiver core is pretty not amazing. He still makes it work though because he is Josh Allen. Moving on to 31. I have someone who apparently you're not high on, which I told you was a good thing. I have Tyler Booker.
Yeah. Wow.
Which is crazy. Which is crazy. I'm being honest. I'm just gonna go back to back. I'm gonna go back to back for you. I have Tyler Booker going 31 to Chiefs. I have Gray Zabel going 32 to the Eagles. Which to you, I guess he was extremely flip flopped. Correct?
Oh yeah. I think Tyler Booker is a top 15 pick, and I think Gray Zabel is maybe a first round pick. But I really like Gray Zabel.
That's crazy.
Wait.
Yeah, I really just what?
I have Tyler Booker going 13.
Yeah.
And I have Gray Zabel going 25. So I have it in the same order as you do.
Oh, wait, you do. Oh, still
Tyler Booker. Very different spots.
Yes. Wait, I don't know why I didn't bring it up when you said Tyler Booker. I brought it up when you said Gray Zabel. I didn't bring it up when you said Tyler Booker. I have him this low. Either way, it's kind of hard to complain about what the freaking Eagles need to pick up, whatever. It's whatever. They're the Eagles. They have everything. They have the whole world figured out. They just came off a Super Bowl. Chiefs also coming off Super Bowl. Having one of the worst offensive line performances I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. Getting like the Eagles rushed 3 and Mahomes could not stay on his feet. It was pathetic. Anyway, I'm not putting that on Mahomes. I'm just saying that the fact that the Eagles had to just send 3 players out and 5 people couldn't hold that for more than 3 seconds is pathetic. So I guess give him O-line. I thought he had a good O-line. I really did. But
yeah,
guess we're all wrong.
So it's actually funny. So you're kind of blinded by recency bias for the Chiefs. The Chiefs' offensive success rate versus the blitz was 3rd. Their offensive success rate with the QB out of the pocket was 4th. RPO 5th. Screen 9th. Play action 6th. Offensive success overall 8th. Their defense is where it struggled. Funny enough, right? Their offensive success rate or defensive success rate versus the pass was 18th, versus the run 11th, versus RPO 31, versus play action 22, versus the blitz or doing blitz 15th. So I have them getting Tyleik Williams here out of Ohio State, a D tackle, just kind of to add to that edge rusher room. I'm sorry, the pass rush room, and kind of just getting better quarterback pressures. I mean, they also couldn't touch Jalen Hurts in the Super Bowl if you want to play that route.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Tyler, this was a tough one. They have very few holes. And I had two good guards, in my opinion, off the board already. So, yeah, Tyleik Williams here. Go for your 32.
That was my 32. Gray Zabel.
Oh, you're right. So my 32.
Yeah.
I have a trade.
Oh my god! Oh wait, I completely forgot.
I have the Eagles trading out of the first round.
They don't need first round talent. They need whatever.
They're trading for a second, a third, and a third and a fourth this year. So a second and third next year, and a third and a fourth this year.
Okay.
And the Steelers are trading to pick 32.
Whoa, because
And they're
need that. Oh wait, are they getting the?
They're getting Jackson Dart.
Let's go,
Jackson. The reason they do this, to get him in the first round, is to get that fifth year option, to have that fifth year of a quarterback being on their rookie scale.
Yeah.
And they give up a lot for it, but it is well and worth it in the end. Exciting.
Well,
trade,
if
right?
he is, I mean, he could be the worst player of all time.
Hopefully.
Who knows if it's worth it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who
Exciting.
knows?
Yeah. Nice little exciting trade, man.
So,
I'm glad we will have the Steelers doing something because they did not belong. They did not need a 21st pick of the draft.
well, they still had the 21st pick for me. They just got 2 first round picks.
Oh wait, you're right. Well, either way,
But,
their draft
they
was
didn't get a
screwed.
quarterback there.
Yeah. I guess you.
Oh,
really,
man.
really, shit, you really buffed up the Steelers. You know you're a Bengals fan.
Hey,
Proud of you, man.
they're a very smart drafting team. They always have been.
Okay. Well, they did. Never mind.
Anything else for you, man?
No, man. That's it. It's been a long episode.
Hour and a half. Back to the old off-season content.
Yeah, but you're right. Forgot.
So thank you all so much for listening. Please go on Spotify, follow us, rate us 5 stars. Statistics show that if I say that, you actually will more often than not. I don't think we have a YouTube channel yet because of reasons.
Reasons.
So I think that's it. Follow, rate us 5 stars, share with everyone. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on TikTok. Thank you all so much for listening. Hey, if you are a University of Cincinnati student, join the Bearcat Sports Lounge. It is my new club I've started up. It's phenomenal. Look, more information on that at another day. Just look it up. Any last words for you, Aaron?
Blade ball's pretty fun.
What?
Blade ball. It's pretty fun.
Oh, actually, a couple last words. One, we apologize for not uploading. We've both been going through a lot of very silly, or not silly, very, very serious life changes.
Serious.
I purchased a car recently. I'm currently moving out of my dorm and into my house for about a month until I move to Florida for 8 months. I've got a paid internship down there through Disney World. It's just been a lot.
Nice, man.
Yeah, it's just been a lot, and Aaron's always doing stuff, I guess.
Always got life stuff going on, man. Always got life stuff going on.
But thank you all for your constant support. Hopefully this episode still does well. Please. And we will see you all next time. Aaron, see ya.
Goodbye, Kevin.